Hey guys, welcome back to Diminished Vibes, episode 5. This one's called Instrument Scenes. Before we begin our episode today, we would just like to thank everyone for the amazing feedback and, checking out our episodes. Hopefully you checked out the last ones. We actually put in your request to add sound clips.
Yes.
And we've also made a playlist, which is quite fun if you take a look at it. Let us know what you think about it as well.
कुछ 40 गाने हैं वो प्लेलिस्ट में, so do check out all the original and the Chapa scene songs. It would be interesting.
Yeah. And before we begin today's episode, I think it's important to give like a summary of what we are going to do. It's more on the serious side, but stay with us. It'll get interesting towards the end. So what we're going to cover is basically classification of music into instruments, major differences within styles of music, and also our personal experiences. So अक्षय चालू हो जाते क्या?
एकदम शुरू हो जाते हैं. So basically, what is music
हाँ
or instrument, or how do you define it? Basically, it's a
yeah
sound, right?
हाँ
So
ना yeah
आवाज कहाँ से आ रहा है? So जहाँ
exactly
से आ रहा है वैसे on that basis, I think there's a broad categories of
yeah
instruments, around 4 categories. So let's
हाँ
go one by one. Stretch instruments. So stretch instrument कुछ नहीं है. Strings based जो instruments है तुम्हारे, these are
हाँ
called as stretch instrument. Guitar एक एग्जाम्पल है.
या बेसिकली वो स्ट्रिंग को स्ट्रेच किया ना
एग्जैक्टली.
और वो वाइब्रेट होता है बेसिकली
करेक्ट. सेकंड है कवर्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. ड्रम्स फॉर एग्जांपल, एक मेम्ब्रेन होता है, उस पे एनिमल स्किन है,
हाँ या
एंड यू हैमर इट एंड यू गेट द साउंड. सो
हाँ
कवर्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट एक कैटेगरी है.
या
देन ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस नो हॉलो और एयर बेस और विंड बेस
या
इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. तुम्हारा फ्लूट है,
हाँ
हारमोनिका है, दीज आर ऑल विंड बेस इंस्ट्रूमेंट.
हाँ
और चौथा मेन कैटेगरी है सॉलिड.
या
इट्स लाइक अ बैंगिंग अ बेल
हाँ
सिंबल. सो वाइब्रेशन जो आ रहा है तुम्हारे
वो
बाय
स्ट्राइकिंग
स्ट्राइकिंग अ बेल और अ
या
गॉन्ग. तो ये मेन कैटेगरी और आइडिया बिहाइंड मेकिंग एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट और
हाँ
हैविंग एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट. बट रिसेंटली इसमें थोड़ा अपग्रेडेशन आया है, एंड नाउ
या
वी हैव इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली प्रोड्यूस साउंड.
या
सो वो भी एक कैटेगरी बोल सकते हैं कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिंथेसाइजर
या
is kind of one broader category nowadays.
या और उसमें आई थिंक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है ना जब भी वो कैटेगरी डाला ना लोग
Mm-hmm.
they thought that okay electric guitar is also now electronic but then they figured out
Yes.
कि नहीं we'll keep it to the original sound so गिटार को वापस stretched में डाल दिया
Yes, you're right. I mean, ये सारे instruments over the period electronically भी
yeah
sound बनाया जाता है इससे. So
yeah to amplify right yeah हाँ exactly अभी concert बजाने
yes,
में yeah
yes, to amplify. So it's best that they stick to the original categorization rather than
yeah
adding it to the electronic one. But yeah,
yeah
interesting point.
that is a very good summary for our listeners. So what
Yes.
we are going to do is hopefully when as we go on through this episode, hopefully it'll inspire you or at least trigger something in you to pick up an instrument and maybe start learning somewhere, right? So that's our goal of this episode. So hopefully it reaches
That's correct. Why not look at some popular instrument, or
yeah
worldwide, basically globally जो most popular और most used instruments है,
yeah
वो क्या हो सकते हैं?
yeah popular instruments are actually worldwide में देखेगा तो one of the most popular would be piano
Yes.
right मतलब keyboard हाँ keyboard piano जो भी है
हाँ, broader category is piano, but in general
हाँ
keyboard तुम्हारा
yeah
organ, synthesizer सब उसी का part में
yeah
consider करेंगे तो yeah, this is most popular instrument. I think you're
हाँ
right.
और आई थिंक वो सीखने को भी इंटरेस्टिंग है बिकॉज पियानो इज राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू राइट वो ऐसे इट्स यू नॉट होल्डिंग इट और एनीथिंग तो तेरे को पूरा इंस्ट्रूमेंट दिख रहा है सामने
Yes.
एंड देन यू स्टार्ट लर्निंग देयर और फिर यू कैन स्टे फोकस्ड ऑन लुकिंग एट इट एंड प्लेइंग
Correct.
अच्छे से तो और उसका म्यूजिक थियोरी भी मस्त है आई मीन पियानो में इफ यू वांट टू लर्न लाइक यू हैव टू स्टार्ट विद म्यूजिक थियोरी वो बहुत सही बिल्डअप होता है फिर बाद में
I think most of these musicians or the music directors or music composers,
या
you'll find them always going to
या
piano for making melody.
हाँ
So
सही है वो
वो
एक्चुअली
एक
हाँ
हाँ मतलब basic instrument बोल सकते हैं to. I think
राइट
it's easier to learn as well, and then it's easier to create melodies on piano. So that's why it's one
या
of the most
या
popular instrument.
मस्त है एक्चुअली पियानो सीखने मजा भी आएगा.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
उसके बाद most popular obviously our favorite too is guitar. तो
Yeah.
गिटार के बारे में क्या बोलता है निखिल?
It is most popular because it is very appealing.
Yes, it has
Guitar.
its own charm. Yeah, you are right. It's quite appealing.
Yeah, and another important thing I think with the guitar is like it is like a piano in the sense that you can play and jam to it. Like you don't need another instrument to actually jam together.
Mm. I mean, you can enjoy the music by
Yeah.
playing it alone. Basically, that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. तो उसमें वो charm है. And then there are other instruments also like violin, right? Violin is another famous instrument. I mean, most popular instrument
Correct.
globally, at least. So that is also in the stretch category if you think about it.
Yes, technicalities में घुस रहा है तू.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, that's required.
हाँ,
उसके बाद यार हम we are forgetting about drums. Drums is
yeah,
also most
yeah,
popular globally,
yeah,
but
yeah.
इंडिया में अपने ही struggles है drums और drummers
हाँ.
को लेके, which we will discuss it later.
Yeah.
Yes,
और तू देखने जाएगा ना ड्रम्स का एक इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट बोल रहा हूँ. तो ड्रम्स इज बेसिकली बीट ना.
correct.
एंड बीट इज वेरी रिलेटेबल टू डांस. और
Yes,
एवरी कल्चर में डांस फॉर्म है तो
yes.
बीट तो चाहिए ही. तो वो एक ब्रॉडर पर्सपेक्टिव है कि फॉर एनी परकशन इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन एनी कल्चर टू बी पॉपुलर.
Mm,
तो आपने इसमें देयर कुड बी तबला फॉर इंडियन
yes.
परकशनिस्ट. या तो इट इज़ वेरी पॉपुलर.
वही basically drums is a broader category, but उसमें percussions आ गए,
हाँ.
तबला आ गया,
Yeah.
bongo आ गया. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. It's one of the popular.
हाँ. And modern instruments में if you take a look at it like ukulele is very popular now.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
मतलब सब लोग का YouTube पे वीडियो है ukulele cover.
I think ukulele, मेरे हिसाब से one of the easiest
हाँ.
instrument to learn as well.
हाँ क्या?
हाँ, so you can say
Oh.
that it could be one of the reasons why it's so popular nowadays. You can just pick
Oh,
it up
nice.
and maybe within a month or so you can at least play some songs.
हाँ.
And then there are few other instruments like harmonica, bongos.
हाँ वो तो classic instruments है ना. Harmonica is like it is in any form of music में harmonica is there like jazz, folk, different
Hmm.
forms of music में there
Blues
is
में
harmonica
काफी use
somewhere.
होता है, correct.
Yeah.
But ये सब में suddenly harp जो instrument है वो मेरे दिमाग
हाँ.
में आ रहा है. There are so many strings.
हाँ.
It would be so difficult
Yeah.
tuning से लेके playing it.
Yeah.
One of the very interesting music I would say.
वही ना वो जितना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होता है उसका सेटअप द इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑल्सो गेट्स डिफिकल्ट आई गेस.
Correct.
So I think we should move on to like more into Indian influences and Indian styles, right? So we would like to discuss some, how musical styles have different instruments. So we thought we will just compare like Indian musical style, like the older ones, and
Yeah,
then move
yeah.
on to more recent ones, right?
So base of all this is obviously the classical music, Indian classical
Yeah.
music. So we have mainly
Yeah.
two categories: Hindustani style and basically the North style, and the Karnataki
Yeah.
music, which is
Right.
mostly the South style. So ये दो main categories है Indian music में.
हाँ उसमें like you said like there are two categories but उसमें instruments भी अलग है
Exactly.
देखने
Exactly.
जाएगा
So
तो.
whatever instrument till now we talked about are mainly the Western instruments, are the most popular, are the
Yeah.
globally known instrument. जो Indian instrument है उसका story कुछ अलग है. So Indian culture अलग है music सीखने का, वो instrument सीखने का. So we have this घराना जो बोलते हैं जिसमें तुम्हारे उस्ताद पंडित जी या
हाँ.
गुरु,
Yeah.
बेसिकली तुम्हारा टीचर कैसा है
Yeah.
उसके बेसिस पे सिखाया जाता है.
Yeah.
Compared to Western music where there's a proper setup and then we have staff notation and all that.
वही वो styles are associated if you think about it all the traditional instruments that India का जो सितार वीणा सरोदे वो सब है. Nowadays you wouldn't see them dominate a song, right? So they are still in like devotional songs में सब highly dominated
Correct.
Instruments है. But if you look at modern music उसमें एक there'll be a 10-second sitar solo or something like that. It wouldn't play throughout the song. So
Yeah.
how it has evolved, right? Even in India the old instruments are not used that much, the traditional ones. So India, being a developing country at that point,
Mm.
was easily influenced by Western culture and was easily adapting. Although
Yes.
keeping the classical tradition in mind, we were like very adaptive towards Western instruments and Western styles of music, right?
At least apna surroundings have been mainly Western. So we personally
हाँ
don't have that much probably
कुछ भी नहीं
Indian.
है.
हाँ, so
Yeah,
zero.
I mean कुछ relation
I
ही नहीं
go and
है.
see some concerts, but I don't have a
हाँ,
strong knowledge or background to form an opinion about any Indian music or instrument as such. To be honestly,
yeah. और उसमें भी इट डिपेंड्स कि फैमिली में कोई है या नहीं है.
exactly. Hmm.
सम ग्रेट म्यूजिकल इंस्पिरेशन, क्लासिकल म्यूजिकल इंस्पिरेशन, कोई कोई है. आई मीन दे स्टार्ट एट अ यंग एज, दे लर्न क्लासिकल म्यूजिक,
Correct.
बट नाउ दे आर नॉट लिसनिंग टू इट.
Yes. But nowadays, I'm also seeing that a lot of Western people who have learned Western classical are inclined to Indian classical now. I'm seeing a lot of
यस.
these firangs coming to India and tabla सीख रहे हैं लोग
या
और नया नया इंस्ट्रूमेंट इंडियन इंस्ट्रूमेंट सीख रहे हैं सो वो भी एक मतलब प्रॉपर कल्चरल फ्यूजन भी दिख रहा है सो गुड टू सी दिस साइड एज वेल
या एंड सम ऑफ द इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, राइट, वी शुड डिस्कस लाइक इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट के इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. लाइक
करेक्ट
what are those? Like tabla is one of the famous percussion instruments, right, coming from India.
हम्म
And then there's obviously sitar,
हम्म
and then veena, like we discussed earlier.
या या
What others come to your mind? Like,
a lot of artists are also using Indian instrument like संतूर काफी जगह पे
hmm,
यूज किया जा रहा है इंग्लिश में तबला तो ऑब्वियसली यूज होता ही है
yeah,
नाउ देर आर लॉट ऑफ फ्यूजन्स जो गिटार को क्लासिकल स्टाइल में इंडियन क्लासिकल उसमें
yeah,
बजा रहे रागास बजा रहे
yeah,
उस
yeah,
पर सो
uh,
बहुत कुछ फ्यूजन चल रहा है अबाउट दिस इंस्ट्रूमेंट सो इट्स गुड टू नो
yeah,
that there are so many things going around and we could
yeah.
share some of these to our listeners so that they can figure out and provide their opinion or thoughts about these
हाँ, आई मीन हम लोग को भी कितना पता चल रहा है एक्चुअली, है ना, ये
exactly
करके.
yeah
वो मज़ा आ रहा है मेरे को. वैसे मतलब यू वुडंट थिंक अबाउट ऑल दिस नाउ डेज, राइट? तू जो
mm.
वट एवर टाइप ऑफ म्यूजिक यू लिसन टू, यू जस्ट फोकस ऑन दैट, एंजॉइंग दैट, दैट्स इट. You wouldn't go back and pick up all these stuff and actually appreciate this. I mean, that's what I'm liking about this, to be honest.
Yes so the,
Yeah.
the podcast is helping us learn as well as spread the knowledge so
Yeah, yeah. So, Indian music had melodies and stuff, right?
mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so you had a good point about how Western music doesn't, or Western music does have melodies in terms of harmony, but in
Yes.
Indian music, melodies are like the main
Primary.
source.
करेक्ट सो कैसे होता है ये राग बेस्ड है एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट्स फोकस्ड ऑन मेलोडी
Yeah.
एक के बाद एक नोट फॉलो करना है और वेस्टर्न
Ah.
में एकदम हारमोनीज पे ज़्यादा फोकस होता है ज़्यादा बिलीव होता है
Yeah,
दे
yeah,
बिलीव
yeah.
इन हैविंग हारमोनीज
Right.
इन देयर म्यूजिक सो इसके लिए हमारा सेटअप और उनका सेटअप काफ़ी अलग होता है और वोकल टेक्निक्स भी काफ़ी डिफरेंट है हम
Yes.
वी डोंट यूज़ फॉल्सेटो आई मीन द वेस्टर्न म्यूजिक दीज
Huh.
डेज यूज़ फॉल्सेटो विब्राटो
Right,
थोड़ा
right.
टेक्निकल हो गया बट इन शॉर्ट और द मेन पॉइंट इफ आई हैव टू हाईलाइट इज इंडियन म्यूजिक में ऐसा सिर्फ रिसाइटल होता है वी डोंट हैव the notation or a music sheet in front of us and then we read it from that
Huh.
but western में पूरा music से ही होता है so a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
these firang guys find it interesting that without having
Yeah.
a staff notation or the music sheet how we play so that was interesting and a very
Oh.
thoughtful way to look at this thing. Yeah.
हाँ, वो actually it points me to that improvisation, right?
Yes.
Indian music में मतलब not Indian music but जो classical Indian music है
Hmm.
उसमें there's more room for improvisation versus Western music where you have to follow a set of
Correct.
staff notations, and then I mean it has its own beauty,
Yes.
both of them. But
Yes.
it's a very interesting point that you brought up there. Yeah, so आई थिंक लोग बोर हो जाएंगे अभी अपन इसमें
Yes.
ज़्यादा घुसेंगे तो वी शुड टॉक अबाउट लाइक अदर रीजंस टू लर्न एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, राइट? मतलब what would drive you to learn an instrument? मतलब
Hmm.
बचपन से देखा जाए तो.
मेरे हिसाब से what kind of music you listen to, उसके हिसाब से you tend to pick up an instrument. If you're like starting very late,
Hmm.
या फिर in
Yeah.
the early years, it's mainly driven by your parents. यार एक दो
Yeah.
instrument बच्चे को आना चाहिए, so they'll
हाँ.
put you in some school or something like that, and then you start developing your interest. For me
हाँ.
personally, I started very late,
Oh, okay.
and I started because whatever type of music I was listening to. So that's why I
हाँ.
straight away jumped onto guitar. अरे मतलब मेरे लिए वो
हाँ.
पर्सनल रीजन था कि वाई गिटार. तो बचपन में वो ब्रांड एडम्स का एक गाना आता था जो आई स्टिल लाइक इट, ऑन अ
Yeah.
डे लाइक टुडे. उसमें वो ब्रांड एडम्स से गिटार कंधे पे लेके ही जस्ट वॉक्स अराउंड. सो आई थॉट इट्स वेरी कूल, एंड दैट्स वेयर आई
Yeah.
रियलाइज कि अरे आई वांट टू लर्न गिटार, सो लेट्स गिव इट अ शॉट.
अच्छा है रे मतलब if you like an instrument, like you said, मतलब you do get inspired by what you listen to,
करेक्ट.
and then there's self development,
Hmm.
there's family inspiration, then there is role models as well. I think when you listen to a certain music, you develop interest and taste, and then you pick certain artists, and then you get inspired and you want to represent that artist or want to
Correct.
do what they are doing, right?
Yes.
And then you start with an instrument. So मेरे भी I think it wasn't about the instrument in the beginning, but
Mm-hmm.
I think जब भी अपना Drop Dead Twice our band when we joined
Yes,
that, right?
band stories.
When
Yes.
we yeah, when we made that band, looking at you guys play is how I picked up the instrument. Like I was like मेरे पास instrument था ही नहीं घर पे, मैं neighbor का लेके आया and I started practicing
Hmm.
कि चलो मैं भी गिटार बजाएगा.
Just for our listeners to know, Nikhil was a vocalist of our band.
Yeah.
So from vocalist, he started learning guitar. So that's the
Yeah,
story
yeah.
about.
And I think it developed my music knowledge because there's a lot of things. I'm not a trained vocalist, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of things I didn't know. Guitar taught me that, and I put that in vocals as well now. So it helps you grow any kind of instrument, right?
Yes, yes. I mean that's what rightly comes to my mind now. So if I have to look at self-taught versus learned guitarist,
Oh,
what do you prefer, or what do you think is the better approach?
I think fundamental strong ke liye it is very important to have like a teacher or
Hmm.
learn something to build your fundamentals. Otherwise, self-taught you have to be very disciplined.
Correct.
नहीं तो self-taught करते करते you will stick to like playing songs और फिर हो जाता है वो खत्म
Ah.
phase.
So in fact, I would say the same thing, right? Self-taught. I can say that I'm a self-taught guitarist because
Hmm.
I started learning and I was just following other artists. अरे ये गाना इसने ऐसे बजाया है,
हाँ.
तो मैं उसको
Yeah.
कॉपी करेगा, and that's how I
हाँ.
learned it, right? So
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
process, I realized कि अरे मैं तो सिर्फ imitation कर रहा है, I'm just playing
हाँ.
what he's playing. तो originality कैसे लाएंगे? Then
Right.
I started
Right.
going into some bit part of theory, कुछ नया
Yeah.
बनाएंगे, different types of scales
Yeah.
क्या है वो सब, तो वो सब काफ़ी important है. So self taught to
हाँ.
learn, yes, both the things are important, but learn में proper teacher होगा तो you will obviously excel faster.
या एंड उसमें और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट आता है कि व्हेन यू स्टार्ट लर्निंग यू गो इनटू सॉन्ग्स राइट. वो
Yes.
फेज था मेरा. मतलब माय फर्स्ट सॉन्ग
सीधा
वाज
गाना
वो
बजाने का
कम एज यू आर निर्वाणा.
है.
वो
Yes.
चालू किया बजाने एंड देन आई वाज लाइक ओ मस्त रॉक सॉन्ग बजा सकता है मैं अभी. फिर कॉर्ड
गिटार
वर्ड
आ गया,
सीखा.
गिटार आ गया.
गिटार आ गया. But उसके बदले there's like so many different things that you need to learn, and if you know that it helps you grow faster. Like अपना learning curve जो है it'll be exponentially linear निकल जाता है.
बट इंडिया में कैसा है, मतलब एटलीस्ट अपने टाइम में म्यूजिक करियर वाज नेवर
Hmm.
ऐसा प्रेफर्ड ऑप्शन नहीं था.
Yeah, yeah,
इट वाज ऑलवेज अ हॉबी.
yeah,
और nowadays maybe you'll see the different side, but still
yeah,
the percentage is very low.
yeah,
बहुत कम लोग हैं जो who really want to do something in music.
yeah, yeah.
बढ़ रहा है, hopes है.
हाँ, अभी अभी काफ़ी musicians है like dedicatedly playing as a career because there are opportunities like you said,
Yes, yes.
right? And they have gotten better at it because they have pursued that like consistently, and that's the main point. Like you have to keep the consistency going, and
Hmm.
then you have to dedicate yourself to that instrument. Like karo practice, or if you practice like 500 hours you will get better ऐसे है
Yes,
मतलब
yes.
that's 100% है वो.
वही थोड़ा पैशन और थोड़ा पागलपंती चाहिए.
Yeah. और एक रीजन था ऐसे कि हाउ वुड यू पिक अप एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट राइट व्हाट
Hmm.
डिसीजंस यू हैव टू कम अक्रॉस लाइक कन्वीनियंट है ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट वो भी है ना.
Yes,
अभी ड्रम्स है तो यू कांट जस्ट पिक अप ऑल योर एंटायर ड्रम किट एंड गो एवरीवेयर राइट. बहुत
exactly.
डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है.
वही, सो मुंबई में वही डिफिकल्ट पड़ा. फर्स्ट, आई मीन, यू डोंट हैव स्पेस टू कीप द होल
हाँ
ड्रम सेट. उसके
या
बाद भी अगर तुमने मैनेज कर लिया, देन
हाँ.
if you start playing it, your neighbor's gonna call you and then
बाजू
say,
वाला
"Shut
आके.
up." हाँ, तो convenience है नहीं. So and that was the reason we were struggling to find a drummer while we were forming a band, right? If you remember.
राइट. या ड्रमर मिलता ही नहीं है एंड देन तब भी एटलीस्ट इट वाज
Yes.
वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड लाइक गुड ड्रमर हु कुड प्ले. ऑल्सो अनदर थिंग वाज द बेस प्लेयर राइट. बेस प्लेयर
Yes.
भी नहीं मिलता क्योंकि लोगों को समझता ही नहीं है बेस क्या है.
Exactly. Correct. पब्लिक को गाना चाहिए सीधा. मतलब if you have a guitar in hand,
या
you should play some song. अगर बेस गिटार दे
राइट.
दिया बंदे को, बंदा क्या बजा रहा है, किसी को समझेगा नहीं. So
या
you are
या
right. Bassy, finding a bassy and a drummer was a difficult
या
thing in 2004, 5, 8. Nowadays the scene is different.
या
We have lot of venues where you can practice, drums and everything. We have a lot of schools also where people are going to learn drums,
नाइस
guitar.
नाइस.
तो
हाँ ना.
थोड़ा scene improve हो गया अभी.
Yeah, it's good to see it changing, man. And it's different also in a way that learning the instrument का एक चीज था कि
Correct.
in when you start an instrument it was a theory that थोड़ा गाना बजाने आता है तो आता है मेरे को गिटार. It's
Correct.
not like पूरा basic fundamental right है तो आता है तेको.
Yeah. Yeah. And you never stop learning, right?
Of
You
course.
The more you get into it, तू नया नया styles निकालेगा, नया नया
हाँ.
scales ढूंढेगा. अरे इसने ऐसे बजा रहा है, अभी
Yeah,
वो चल रहा
yeah.
है. So never ending process है ये.
बट मजा आना चाहिए मेन वो है ना मतलब.
Yes.
तू इतना
मजा
सब
आना
कर रहा
चाहिए.
है तो मजा आना चाहिए नहीं तो यू लूज इंटरेस्ट. हाँ
हाँ,
एग्जैक्टली.
exactly. जब तक वो sound और noise whatever you're making is interesting and you find it amazing, then
हाँ
you'll start learning. I remember मेरा बचपन में जब मैं बजाता था तो स्टार्टिंग में पेरेंट्स, माय ब्रदर, एवरीवन यूज्ड टू, अरे सही सही बजा रहा है. आफ्टर 6 months बोले, "अरे जा रहे अपने रूम में जाके बजा." ये सीन था. क्या वही बजा
हाँ
रहा.
ना एक्चुअली क्या
So
वही बजा
so
रहे हैं.
yeah, so the audience usually likes to
हाँ
know the end product directly. सीधा गाना बजाने आना चाहिए.
हाँ
So
या
वो
प्रोसेस
एक
नहीं सुनना
प्रोसेस नहीं सुनना है.
है. या नो विच मेक सेंस ना मतलब मैं क्या सुनूं तेरा तू जो बजा रहा है मतलब घर पे
Exactly.
प्रैक्टिस करके आ जा
हाँ,
अच्छे से.
हाँ.
आई मीन दैट्स ऑल्सो अ गुड पॉइंट फॉर बैंड्स राइट. मतलब
Correct.
बैंड प्रैक्टिस में कितना टाइम वेस्ट होता है अपना कि अरे ये
Yes.
कॉर्ड बजा वो ऐसा है ये ऐसा है. मतलब सब लोग घर पे प्रैक्टिस करके आओ.
ड्रमर इधर एंट्री मारेगा. वो सब फाइट सीन्स है वो.
या बहुत बहुत सीन होने का बट दैट्स व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड रिस्पेक्टिंग ना कि ऐसे तभी समझने लगा अपने को कि
Hmm.
ओ नो ये भी डिफिकल्ट इंस्ट्रूमेंट है ये भी ऐसा है.
Correct. So personally for me, learning curve like exponentially grew when I started playing in a band. You know,
यस
started
यस.
accommodating what other guys playing, let me match.
या
वो मतलब दोनों था, एज अ पर्सन एंड एज अ म्यूजिशियन दोनों में काफी ग्रो हुआ, क्योंकि यू
हाँ
नीड टू लिसन टू अदर पर्सन ओपिनियन. वो क्या
एब्सोल्युटली.
बजा रहा है, वो क्या बोलना
या
चाह रहा है. So and
राइट.
then matching up to those expectations, that is how you typically grow.
या
So I would say practicing or jamming with
या
others is
या
a, exponentially you can grow your learning.
हाँ. And then you get to learn from other musicians as well right.
Yes,
मतलब
yes,
their perspective of a guitar that you are playing is
correct.
completely different when
Yes.
you are playing a guitar. Yeah तो वो मज़ा आता है सुनने ऐसे कि ओ
Hmm.
you're thinking it this way okay yeah I could probably play it in this scale.
हाँ, घर जाके प्रैक्टिस करेगा, उसको आता है, मैं भी प्रैक्टिस करेगा, कल बजा के
Yeah.
लाएगा. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा
Yeah.
कंपटीशन भी बेसिकली इज रिक्वायर्ड.
I hope this, all this has given you guys, some food for thought kind of for as far as instruments is concerned,
Correct.
and
Correct.
then our listeners can hopefully,
Get motivated
yeah,
and pick up something and start learning because it's never too late.
yeah, yeah, or get back to the instrument that they had kept aside or something like that. Just
That's
get
a
back to
message
it.
for us as well, I guess.
Ah, exactly. Or yeah, I think we should just talk about like तेरा personal influence कोई
Yes,
guitarist, because that is main. Like पहले अपन बात कर रहे थे role models ना,
correct.
so we should just give examples of our role models. Like,
Yes, yes. So I would go first. So मैं जब भी I started, proper into guitaring,
hmm,
बैंड था अपना तभी I used to listen to Dream Theater a lot. So
yeah,
John Petrucci was one of my personal favorites
yeah,
because theoretically he is amazing
हाँ,
and
yeah,
theory तो छोड़ दे but practice wise I mean if you see him
yeah,
playing
man,
it's amazing. So when I saw them live in Mumbai
yeah,
I could see that it's just playing it on a CD or DVD जब जैसे
yeah,
live लग ही नहीं रहा था it's same ditto sound से लेके
yeah,
timing से लेके your solo
हाँ,
skills everything was spot on. So
yeah.
my personal favorite is John Petrucci hands down.
Yeah. I think in the music world, ऐसे बोलते भी है ना, he's like god of guitar, sort of.
I think he's been invited to G3 concerts
Yeah,
multiple
yeah,
number of times
multiple
by Joe
times.
Side.
Yeah,
No other
yeah,
guitarists have made so many times. Maybe Steve Vai, but John
yeah.
Petrucci has
Steve
been
Vai
the
और Joe Sat तो brothers.
yes. वो लोग
हाँ,
भी favorites है, but my personal favorite
हाँ.
is John Petrucci. What about you?
Nice, nice. I think my taste evolves from a bit more classic rock,
Correct.
thoda, or older ones, which I would say is probably Jimi Hendrix and
Wow.
Clapton. I mean, there's a
Yes.
debate always like, are you Hendrix or Clapton? But I
Yes.
would say I'm both. Why not, right?
Yeah, you
क्यों
can't
debate
have
करने
favorites.
का? Yeah, yeah. But Clapton ka what I like is the soulful solos. Yeah, I mean even Gilmour, right? David
Yes.
Gilmour, apna Floyd,
Mm.
crazy soulful scales and solos. It's a very very different technique.
Correct. Correct.
And then obviously, I mean, faster guitar players, like you said, matlab John Petrucci. To I haven't heard many other guitarists do what he does.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then there was like Indian influences as well, right? We were talking about
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Correct. Correct. So we should definitely talk about these guys as well. So अपना टाइम पे जीरो अपन बहुत सुनता था, right? So
yeah,
Warren Mendonça, we
yeah,
could pin it down.
yeah, yeah,
उसका
totally.
लेटेस्ट म्यूजिक भी बहुत अमेजिंग है,
Oh,
ब्लैक स्टार
मस्त है रे.
ब्लूज.
मैं full trip हो रहा था उस दिन,
फुल
पता
ट्रिप
है.
एग्जैक्टली
अरे
एग्जैक्टली.
last two episodes ago, when we discussed, right, I
हम्म.
went and listened to his entire album. Amazing लगा मेरे को. वो
हाँ.
last year का. Yeah.
यस.
And then what other guitarists do you think?
रिसेंटली देन मतलब अपना जीरो टाइम के बाद मदर जेन यूज्ड टू बी माय फेवरेट, सो बैजू
Oh,
काफी
हाँ रे.
पसंद था.
हाँ, मस्त था Mother Jane. I liked it.
हाँ, ही दे हैड अ डिफरेंट स्टाइल, तो उसका
Yeah.
गिटारिंग में इंडियन क्लासिकल बहुत आता था
Oh,
इन
right,
हिज
right. Like you
सोलोस.
said before, right?
करेक्ट.
Classical in like
बहुत
modern
फ्यूजन.
instruments.
यस.
Yeah,
यस.
fusion.
So and he
Yeah,
he did it very amazingly. So
right.
I would say he's one of my favorites in Indian artists.
Yeah.
So वो एक है.
हाँ.
तेरा favorites क्या था Indian artist में, if I had to say?
तू बोला वो तो है ही ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि वो टाइम हम लोग साथ में ही थे कॉलेज में, सब मतलब सब कॉन्सर्ट्स ये लोग को ही देखा है ना हम
Yes.
लोग ने. And
Exactly.
then there was one important person, like a legendary Indian guitarist would be like Sonam Sherpa. He recently
Oh yes.
unfortunately passed away. I mean, he
Parikrama.
was, yeah, Parikrama's guitarist. He was like amazing man. He could own the stage like
Yeah, his stage
वो.
presence.
Yeah, he's
Yes, you're right.
amazing. बहुत ही amazing, and attitude was so down to earth, and all these guitar players, like they're so good and so down to earth.
Yes.
They don't care about like how they should be amongst general people, like they're
Yeah.
very
These
famous.
are very humble musicians. So
Yeah, exactly, that's the word. Yeah, right.
हाँ, वो तोप वोप वाला सीन नहीं, मैं तोप है इधर, वो
Yeah,
नहीं है.
yeah.
These are all humble people.
So
Yes.
and sorry for the other instrumentalists out there. We didn't discuss other instruments because we just wanted to keep it to what we know. I mean, we obviously respect other instruments, and we follow a lot of musicians who play other instruments. So
Yes.
there's a long list, so we didn't want to
Correct.
bring all of that into this episode. But one question that we thought we would discuss is, Akshay, if you had to pick an instrument today, what would you start with? Like, if you didn't know
Hmm.
anything about an instrument,
Yes.
you listen to the same music, but if you wanted to pick up an instrument today and learn what it would be.
Yeah, so obviously guitar is not in the choice because I
Yeah.
know a little bit of guitar. But if I had to pick up a new instrument, probably I would want to master keyboards and maybe enjoy myself playing harmonica.
Oh, nice, man.
Yes, yes. What about you, Nick?
If I had to pick something now, it would be drums.
Whoa.
Yeah, because in the last 10, 15 years, I think I've got influenced by a lot of progressive music, and then
Hmm.
the odd beats and timing of it has
Yes.
totally taken me to a different side and exposed me to a different side of music that I like. So yeah, I would definitely try the drums if I had to, starting today.
Amazing, amazing. So why not put this question to our listeners? So if you start now, guys, so what would
Yeah,
you pick up? Just put in the comments in our social
yeah.
platforms, and we would like to hear from you.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing that we missed in all of this is probably voice.
Yes,
Voice is also an instrument if you think about it.
yes, that's a very good perspective. Yes, so vocals is an instrument. Yeah, we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
definitely say that.
yeah,
उसमें भी बहुत categories है, right? Humming, screaming,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
आजकल acapella बहुत चल रहा है. So you know, a lot of these guys basically acapella is nothing but all the instrument
yeah.
noise or the instrument sounds are from the voice.
Vocals,
So
yeah,
there'll be a
voice.
bunch of
Yeah,
people playing different
yeah.
kind of instrument from their vocal side.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have much to discuss about it, but it's just a point that we thought we should bring up, right? Because it is, if you think about instruments, you only think about things that you can hold and play, right? But voice is something that is with you. You just have to learn that skill and make it into an instrument. That is something also that you can pursue, right?
Mm.
For our listeners.
Yes. So yeah, if you're picking up something, you can pick up vocals as well.
The key is, you don't have to just learn to play. You need to enjoy the sound as well.
Yeah.
The vibrations, right, that we discussed earlier, like different types of sounds vibrations
Yes.
create with
Yes. So
different
it's not
chords.
about,
So
yeah, you're right. I think it's not just about playing music, it's about learning the whole process to, how
yeah,
to play the whole thing.
yeah, yeah. And there's no easy instrument, to be honest. Like we
Yes.
discussed popular instruments, but there's no easy instrument. You just have to dedicate the time, and then obviously you have to listen to that kind of music to actually keep playing it,
Yeah.
and then you just fall in love with it. Otherwise, I mean, if you become too technical too fast, you may lose interest easily. So keep the balance of both the self-learned and the actual technical learned parts.
Yes. Yes. Since we're discussing this about the instrument scenes, it's a good food for thought for our listeners as well. What came first, music or language? What do you say?
Yeah. This is very interesting topic because if you think about it, when we researched, the oldest instrument was a flute.
Yes.
And then it is said that before the flute came, maybe they already were humming in different tunes.
Hmm.
It is also a theory that maybe they were already singing before the flute came into existence.
Correct.
When you are a kid, not even a kid, like infant, like a small baby, you react to sounds, like different sounds that you hear, and
Yes.
your brain doesn't process it in a language perspective as a speech.
Yeah, because they don't know the meaning of those words or the sound that is coming out, right? They are just
Yeah,
listening to the sound, and probably that's the reason you could say that maybe the music came first, but it's very debatable.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is same as the perspective that you have for music. Like you need to know to differentiate different sounds.
Yes.
That's how you differentiate the language as well. It grows together, but it's just a theory that music may have evolved earlier than you think.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe before
That's
language.
amazing.
Yeah, man. It totally blew my mind when we saw this and
Yes.
started discussing this on the side. So it was something that we thought we should share with you guys as well.
Yes. So basically, we have two assignments for our listeners. One is if they pick up an instrument, what do
Assignment.
you would what would they pick up, and maybe some thoughts on what came first, music or language.
Yeah, man. मतलब difficult है actually.
हाँ, काफी डिबेटेबल है.
Yeah, मजा आया मेरे को देख के.
बट यार नेचर में म्यूजिक है ही यार. सो आई
हाँ.
थिंक म्यूजिक probably the first.
Yeah. Different sounds of, even if you think about different sounds of different
Hmm.
species like animals, ये वो,
Hmm.
that is also speech for them, right?
Yeah.
माँ कसम full danger area, full territory.
एकदम.
Actually, we would like to conclude the episode today by giving you like a short brief on next episode.
Yes. Next one's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be unplugged scenes.
Yeah, man.
So we are going to form a set of rules to find out our favorite unplugged songs. We'll discuss the rules and the songs, maybe with clips in the next episode.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be fun for you guys. Thank you for listening in, guys.
Thank you guys.